Alright folks, so this right here you're seeing is my log raised bed area, and I want to bring you through a video today in just kind of putting together some log raised beds. This bed over here to my right is already put together and planted with some carrots and some garlic. It is a 3x8 raised bed, and then these are going to be kind of a 3x6, 3x8 here in this horseshoe area, that are all going to be put together as one unit. But this these beds are super cheap to make, um, very affordable. Actually, I got it for free 99. So if you're a fan of free, this is the type of bed for you. This is what you're going to want to do. You can find any of these supplies for these beds at your local mills. Sometimes they'll have one-off lumber or pieces of lumber that they just didn't match up to their grade that they couldn't cut. Or even maybe even have these rounds available for people who want to do things like this, building sheds, stuff like that, for extremely cheap or next to nothing in terms of costs. Just a little bit of elbow grease. I did have to hew all of the bark off from these logs myself with an axe. And so you do get that kind of like chipped, rough hewn look to it, but it makes it very rustic and beautiful. So let's go through putting together this bed. I'll give you guys a little bit of a time lapse as I'm doing it. This does require quite a bit of two hands work. Not going to be able to hold you guys in my hands and film with you, but the tools you're going to need for the job are impact driver or drill, depending on what you have. This is an impact driver that I have. Possibly an extra battery. You're going to want a speed square or some sort of square, and then you're going to want some 10x4-inch nails or screws. I really recommend screws. These are the torque bit type. And then I have some 2-inch for some of the smaller things, just in case the 4-inch are too big. You could get 3-inch as well. I actually probably would have preferred that, as having a 4-inch and a 3-inch, just for that kind of variability in the depth of the wood, because you're going to have a lot of different dimension of lumber here, some varying thicknesses with this type of one-off lumber. So go ahead and gather those things together and gather your wood. Now you can do this with dimensional lumber too. It's gonna look a little bit more cleaner, but you're gonna probably pay for the amount of lumber that I'm doing right here and the amount of depth I'm doing with these beds. You're gonna probably pay somewhere in the $200 to $300 range for dimensional lumber, more than likely to get this much wood in your bed. So it's pretty expensive. Now this is cheap, cheap, cheap. So this is easy to do and cost effective. So let's get to it. Let's start building. And there we have it, folks. We got a finished bed. Needs to be filled now. So I'll spare you the process of that, or I'll do maybe a separate video of bed filling, depending on how long this video is. If it's too long, I'll put it here at the end. If it's not long, then I will do the bed filling and film it, and then get it all filled up. But it's going to be a bottom layer of chicken compost, and then some of the stuff and some topsoil that I have in my yard, that is pretty good topsoil, sandy loam mix.
You have the ring, and I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
And there you have it, folks. This is our finished bed here. I just fed the chickens, so they're running around eating all sorts of chicken or kitchen scraps and other things like that, chasing each other around. It's pretty funny to watch. But this is our finished raised bed. Everything's more or less leveled out how it needs to be, and we got it all filled. Now I filled this with about we're doing about 30% horse manure with another about 30% we're using for peat moss, and then we're doing I'd use about 100 pounds of sand, of play sand, and then a little bit of perlite in there as well. And so that makes up this mix for the beds. Now I will top up with a little bit of compost probably next year, and maybe even a little bit more sand. But this mix has been pretty good for draining. We just had a torrential rain, so it's actually 2 days later it took me to film this video because we had so much rain that came in, and I had some family members come over, and we were doing some game nights and stuff. But I digress. This bed is complete, and so we're going to get some plants in it here. Probably on the next video you'll see, or one of my upcoming videos. I'll kind of go over a guide of some things that are needing to be sown in this bed right now. And they're kind of the last call for those plants for direct seeding. Some of your early season vegetables that are going to be harvested just before your tomato plants and other things like that go in there. Part of this bed is going to be herbs. I do have some oregano right here. I'm going to be probably putting in some dill over in the back here in this back corner. And then I'm going to be putting in some other low kind of growing plants in this spot. Probably my thyme plant, which is about 2 to 3 years old now. Almost need to start a new one, but I'll plant that one in the corner, and then we'll plant some more herbs around here as well. There'll be one other section of this bed that's going to be built, which is right in front. You can't see it, but it's in front of this 8-foot bed here. I'm going to do a little 3x3 for some mint. It's right in front of the walkway, so when you walk past it, you'll get that nice aroma of fresh mint that kind of comes up in your face, which is going to be really nice. But we're going to put some mint there, so it's in its own contained area, and then we'll plant some other veggies back here. I do have some kale planted here, 2 plants right there, and I'm thinking maybe I don't know. Well, I'll have to see. Comment down below if you're interested in kind of give me an idea of what I should plant here in this 8-foot bed to my right. I got 2 kale plants. I got some carrots seeded right now, and then should I do the rest of it brassicas, or should I put in some other plants? Maybe some tomatoes. I have enough space there where I can plant some maybe determinate tomatoes or something, maybe a couple plants. Or should I just continue with the herbs over here and do something over here? Give me some ideas down below, and we'll play with it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you got some ideas from this. Hopefully you kind of know that it's very easy to make your own bed. It's extremely easy. It's extremely easy to get started gardening. It's extremely easy to start producing your food. You don't need a whole lot of space. This area is going to grow garlic, it's going to grow kale, it's going to grow herbs, it's going to grow some tomatoes. Even if you have just a small backyard like this is not a very big section, maybe like 100 square foot section, and you can start gardening right now. So stay tuned, guys, and remember, grow what you love and love what you grow. And please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.